Okay, question 8. Which of the following is an equivalent form of 1.5x minus 2.4 squared minus 5.2x squared minus 6.4, and that in parentheses. Okay, so it seems like for this question, we want to simplify, right? And then try to see which one is equivalent. Okay, so we do have to keep in mind, okay, first thing first is if you have any negative in front of the parentheses, like here, in front of the second parenthesis, we do have to distribute the negative across. Okay, and then so both terms we have to multiply by a negative. Okay. And also for this one is a little bit tricky. For the first parentheses, you see this whole thing is squared, right? So we have 1.5x minus 2.4 squared. So whenever this happens, we cannot just distribute a square. Okay, can just square each one because inside the parentheses here, these two are subtracting each other. So we have two separate terms. Okay, they're not multiplied together. So we can't just distribute a square. What we had to do instead, we had to expand this. Okay, we can rewrite this as 1.5x minus 2.4 times itself, right? So we multiply it by another 1.5x minus 2.4. Okay. And then we had to multiply, distribute, and multiply. And this will be like FOIL. Okay, so I had to do that. Okay, and then the second one, let's just second parenthesis there, we'll just distribute the negative. It should be minus 5.2x squared. And then a negative times a negative 6.4 should become a positive. So it would be a plus 6.4. All right. So if you go and distribute and do FOIL here, it will be 1.5x first term times the first term, 1.5x times 1.5x. Here we can use our calculator. 1.5 times 1.5, 2.25x squared. Okay. And the outside is 1.5 times negative 2.4. And negative 3.6x. The inner term is the same, right? So it'd be negative 3.6x. Last term times the last term, negative 2.4 times negative 2.4. So I have two negatives, so when they multiply, they will be positive. Okay, so it'll be plus 5.76. Right, and then the other stuff is still there, right? So minus 5.2x squared plus 6.4. All right. And once we have that, we can try to combine like terms and simplify as much as we can. So if you look at the x squared terms, okay, we have 2.25x squared and then minus 5.2. So we solve that. 2.25 minus 5.2. Combine them up together, we should get negative 2.95x squared. That'll be the first term. And then these was x, we combine them, will be negative 7.2x. And then the last term, or the constant, we add them together, 5.76 plus 6.4. We get plus 12.16. Okay. And that's as far as we can go, right? So that should be our final answer for this one, okay, which is letter C for question 8. All right, so for this question, there are two common mistakes. One is we had to distribute the negative, right? The other one is we cannot distribute the square because these two are subtracting each other. Okay, so I have two separate terms. So I had to rewrite it and expand it and do FOIL from there. Okay, so that will be it for question 8.